Hello, sixth graders. Today you're going to look more at the coordinate plane and you're going to label some things on the graph, practice plotting a couple points so that you are really understanding the different parts of the coordinate plane. So when you get your coordinate plane picture, you're going to start by labeling the different quadrants. So the coordinate plane is made up of 4 quadrants. The first quadrant is called quadrant 1. So you're going to write quadrant 1 up here above it. They do use Roman numerals when talking about the different quadrants, and in Roman numerals, the I is a 1. Then it actually goes counterclockwise. So it goes around the opposite of a clock. This one over here is quadrant 2. Then we go down here. This is quadrant 3. And this one is quadrant 4. So go ahead and label those different quadrants if you have not already. Now we're going to look more specifically at the different quadrants. So if we look over here at quadrant 1, this is the quadrant that you are the most used to using. You've used it in all the grades before this one, whenever you started graphing. So in quadrant 1, you should remember that all of the x's and all of the y's are positive. So x's are positive and y's are positive. And you're going to take a moment right now to label the parts of the graph. So over in quadrant 1, we have all the positive x's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And all the y's are positive too. So going up the graph, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We also forgot to label the x and the y axis, so we're going to do that right now. So this is your x axis. You're going to put a nice x by it, and your y axis. So any point in quadrant 1 is going to be a positive x and a positive y. So I'm going to guide you through, and then hopefully you can come up with some points of your own. So for example, a point that we could graph in quadrant 1 would be 3, 2. So you remember when you graph, you're going to go over 3, 1, 2, 3, and then up 2. And you should put a point right here, and we're going to label it A. So put an A right next to that point. Okay. Then we're going to take another point to plot. We'll call it B this time, and we can think of any positive x and positive y. So let's say we want to do 1, 4. We're going to go over to the right 1 and then up 4 and put a point right there and label it B. And we're going to do one more point over there. We're going to do a C. And let's say we want to do 5, 3. So remember, you count over to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then up 3, and you should hopefully end up right here and put a C. This would be a good time to pause it if people need a little bit more time to make sure that we have the points on the graph correctly. All right, we're going to go over to quadrant 2 now. And in quadrant 2, we're going to need to use some negative numbers this time. So we haven't finished labeling our number line here, our coordinate plane numbers. When we go over to quadrant 2, we have to go -1, just like our number line, -2, -3, -4, -5. And you'll notice that in quadrant 2, all the x's now are negative numbers, and the y's are going to be positive. The y's go up. So I'm going to guide you through some points again, but if you want to make up your own, you can definitely do that. You do not have to do the ones that I am doing. So let's do over here, let's do a D, E, F. All right, so a negative x, it can be anything. Let's say -2. And for y, let's do 1. So this time, because the x is negative, we're going to go to the left 2. So you're going to go 1, 2 to the left, and then a positive y. So up 1, Your point should go there, and you're going to label it D. All right, now let's find a positive or negative x and a positive y for point E. Let's see, what have we not used? Let's do -4 and 5. So we'll go over to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, and up 5, and you should have a point right here that you call E. And then we need one more with a negative x, let's say -1, and a positive y, maybe 2. Again, you can make up your own points if you want to. So we're going to go over 1 and up 2. Okay, so there's quadrant 1 and quadrant 2. We're going to work our way around, and this time we're going to go down to quadrant 3. This means we need to go down on the number line that is the y-axis. So we're going to need to label our numbers down the number line. So we have -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. All right, so you'll notice that over here, all the x values are negative numbers. So the x's are negative, and all of the y's are also negative numbers. And you're going to come up with so we've done A, B, C, D, E, F. We're going to do a G, H, I. And I'd like the sub to pause the video right now, and I want you to see if you can come up with 3 points that you could do that are negative. So come up with a negative x and a negative y. And if you're stuck, I'm going to come up with some with you that you can copy. All right, so we can come up with any negative numbers. Our graph doesn't go more than 5. So we could do, let's say, -5, -3. So if they're negative, that means we're going to start by going to the left. So you're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or however many you came up with. And then down this time, so down 3. So here would be my point G that I came up with, which is -5, -3. Maybe I want to use -3, -2. So I'm going to go to the left 3, 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to go down 2. So point right here. There's H. And then I need one more negative number. Let's say what have I not used much? -2, -4. So over 2 to the left and then down 4. Okay, and you may have come up with 3 different points, hopefully, unless you use the points that I had. All right, one last quadrant, and then we are totally finished with our coordinate graph picture. We are going over to quadrant 4. If you look over at quadrant 4, you will notice that the x's are positive. All of them are positive, so you're going to put a positive number for x. And all of the y coordinates are negative. So you're going to put a negative for x, or y, sorry, y. And pause the video right now and see if you can do the points. So let's see, we have G, H, I, J, K, L. Can you come up with the points all on your own? So you need to come up with a positive number and then a negative number and see if you can graph them. So pause the video now and come back in a moment and see how you did. All right, so I'm going to plot some points really quick. But we could do any numbers that we want to here. We could do like a 3 and a 5. So I would go over, -5, right? It has to be a negative y. So I would go over 3 and then down 5. Okay, again, you are going to have different points than me, hopefully, if you did them on your own. Let's see, maybe I want to have a 2 and -1. So I would go over 2 and then down 1, which would be point K. And then I need one more point with a positive number for X and a negative for Y. Let's see, 4, -4. So over 4 and then down 4, and I'm going to name that L. So when your graph is totally completed, you should have plotted 9 points on your graph. I used different colors just so you could see them, but you did not need to do that. And hopefully your graph looks just like mine. You are going to work on some iExcel today to practice your graphing as well. Good luck.